Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Sorry about the long riff. It was so close to the end and I love just hearing that one taper off, so I let it play. So sorry that opening riff went a little long, but I love that riff, man. It's very mellow, very cool. Hey guys, Robert, good job, man. Back on top, first in. Awesome. Cliff Andrews, hello. Waiting for a GEPRC Synolog 25, 9 days. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, if you haven't gotten the ship notice, that's the key with Banggood. Once you get the ship notification, then you know at least it's in transit. After that, it goes dark for a little while, and then things show up. But that's unfortunate that you're stuck waiting. That's no fun. It seems to be the nature of things these days, doesn't it? Vance, good morning. Glad you can make it. FL Engineer, hey man, FL Engineer, I'm in your head, huh? The GEPRC Crocodile Baby. I'll tell you guys a little bit about this thing in a couple minutes, but. PS, awesome. Glad you could make it. Drone Pilot, how you doing? Glad you could make it. And yeah, there we go. Yeah. Okay, before we get to the quad, we're going to get to that in just a minute. I just want to throw a couple things up for you guys real quick. Let's cover some specs real fast. So the flight controller on this one is a 20 amp F4. It's an F411. It's got an STM32, of course. It's got an MPU 6000. No barometer on this one. It's got a BN228 GPS already integrated. Now on the Eachine Civitar, no GPS. I had to add that. So this one's got it integrated already. It's got a OSD chip and AT7456E, and I've already tested it, by the way. It looks fine. Of course, it's got the integrated LC filter. The power supply is 4S LiPo. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. We've got the Caddx Vista HD, and this one has the Nebula 2 Pro. Now, before I go any further, because I don't want to forget this, if you guys are looking at this quad, don't get one that has the Nebula 2 or the Nebula Micro. Do not buy that one. There's a V1 and a V2, and the V1, from all accounts, was just awful. People were having, there's videos on YouTube all over the place, and it really didn't do Caddx any favors on the performance of that thing. So if you decide to go get one of these, make sure whatever vendor you choose lists the camera as a Nebula 2, not the version 1. Okay, I just want to make sure I pointed that out. The antenna is a GEPRC Momota left hand, and that's for the HD system. Then the motors are 1404 2750s with 424 props, 4024 props, and an XT30. So the XT30, that's another one that I wanted to make sure I pointed out because it's not an XT60. It's sometimes hard to tell by the pictures. If it's just laying there like that and you see these zoomed in pictures, you might not realize that is an XT30. So I wanted to make sure to point that out as well. So XT30. I wish they would put on the Nebula Pro. Yeah, but the Nebula Micro 2, I've seen the videos on that, and it looks pretty good. And I can tell you after my initial testing with it last night, the video looked pretty good too, but I haven't taken it outside. That's where the real test comes, right? You got to get it outside and show it the light and the dark at the same time, and that will tell you. Hey, yeah, Robert, so good. Thanks, Robert. I appreciate you mentioning that. Regarding the batteries, so this is another one. Don't buy the battery. The battery... the retail battery for this is $75. 75 bucks for the retail battery. Now, it is a 4-cell 3000, and it's lithium ion with, I believe it's a 30 amp. Yeah, it's a 30 amp discharge rate. So those are decent specs. However, you can buy all 4 of the batteries you need to make that from the 18650 battery store. I will put a link in the description after the video, but you can buy them from the 18650 battery store for 35 bucks. Plus another couple dollars shipping. I got mine for 40, so they're on the way. I'll be making my own batteries for this, but this is another use case for having a spot welder because, I mean, look at it this way. If you're thinking about this and you were thinking about a spot welder, buy the batteries by yourself, and I'll put the link to the batteries so you don't have to worry about it, but buy the batteries yourself and you can pay for the spot welder with the money you would have saved on your first pack. How's that? Think of it that way. So I will be using the lithium ion 4S 3000 setup on this one. And it is heavy. I mean, I'm not going to lie. That thing is heavy. So let's see. Okay, we got that one. The low amp. Yep, got that. Had mine for a while, of course. The analog version. The issue I have is with the POS straps that came with it. And I'm having trouble finding any straps that actually fit. Great quad. All right, well, I'm curious about that, Kevin. We'll look at the straps in just a minute. I'm sorry you heard you had a problem with yours. Don't worry, I'd be stuck with the rate. With the Ratel? Oh, the Ratel, yeah. Oh, well, you know, hey, man, I flew that Cinewhoop yesterday and had a great time, you know, and I do have a taste for the HD now. So it's like the vampire movies. You got that first blood, you know, you got that taste. So I hear you, man. But yeah, the analog system did great. It was fine. I had a good time flying around with it. Tailspin says, I have the Emax Baby Hawk 2 and the Pro is pretty good. Yeah, man, I had the Baby Hawk 2. I didn't have the HD. I had the Baby Hawk 2 and mine was a flyaway. That was unfortunate. I was really, I don't know if you guys picked up on it again, but I was what do they call that? Hesitant. I was hesitant to, that's not hesitant, wasn't the word I was thinking, recalcitrant. Hesitant to go back out there again on a quad, because the first time I did it on video, I had a flyaway, which kind of sucked. But anyway, hey Pete Buttons, glad you could make it. So yeah, I might try that Baby Hawk 2 again. I might. Anyway, let's get into the quad. So the let me point out a couple key features on what drew me to this. The first one was word of mouth. You know, I have a friend Jay. You guys, I think most of you know Jay. Jay flies. He does a lot of quad work, and he flies quads out in the desert. And he contacted me on the Cinewhoop flight, and he gave me some pointers on things to do when I did my maiden on the Cinewhoop. And while we were in that conversation, he was telling me about his Crocodile Baby 4-inch, and told me how much he enjoyed flying that quad around. And so, you know, that carries weight with me. You know, when I have a guy that I know makes a recommendation after hands-on experience, that carries weight. And hopefully, you know, that's the same kind of influence I have with you guys, I hope. But anyway, Jay recommended this one, and I went out and looked around and said, yeah, I've seen that before, and I kind of like what they're doing with it. So let me walk you through a couple of the things that got me. And there are options too, by the way. And I would like to talk about the airframes too, so you guys have an understanding directionally where I'm going with all this. I'd like to talk about those airframes. But let me point out what got me attracted to this one. I wasn't real happy about the camera initially. You know, when I saw that, I went out and looked at the camera, because this is my first Caddx system. So I went out and looked at the videos, and I'll tell you what, man, that Nebula 1 the videos that I saw were terrible. They were all god awful. And thankfully I found some Nebula 2 videos, and they said, yeah, they did a side by side, and they said, yeah, these are much better cameras. So that was a relief when I saw that. And I did want to try a Caddx system, because I have the DJI Air unit on the Reptile Dragon, and I wanted to compare them. I wanted to be able to give you guys a comparison and say, here's what I see. You know, here's the difference between the two, because there is a price point. And let's not kid ourselves. There's a price point between the Air units and the Caddx systems. And the other thing to point out is the Caddx systems don't do onboard recording, right? So that, just keep that in mind. There is no onboard HD, but you do get the video feed back to your goggles, and you can get your 720. I believe it's 720. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. 720p on the goggles. So you still get really good video back on the goggles, and according to the videos that I've seen, the camera issues are resolved. So that was the first thing that drew me to it. Was, you know, this is it's designed, they call these micro long ranges. And you can ask Robert. I spent, when I first started looking for these, I was talking with Robert, because Robert has some experience with this kind of thing too. And one of the things that kind of chapped me just a little bit is when they use a 5.8 video system and a standard 2.4 control system, and then call it long range. Now, I know you can get some distance out of it. I get it. You can put a Sunhands booster on. You can put a you know, taller antenna with some patch, and you know, you can get a mile or two, maybe 3 out of it. I get it. But you know, they say long range. When they say long range, to me, that doesn't mean a mile or 2. That means the radio system and the transmission systems have the capability of doing more than that. So anyway, those were some of the highlights on why I landed on this, because it had both. It had the Caddx, you know, the DJI system, which we know is good for about 4 miles, and it had the Crossfire. So you can see the Crossfire Immortal V2 antenna up front. So those were two of the big ones. You know, those were the decision factors for me, because I really wanted to fly digital. And when it comes to radios, I'm really gravitating to the Crossfire stuff at this point. The more I use it, the more I like it, kind of deal. It's got this gravitational pull on me. Not only that, when you have beta flight involved, Crossfire is great for telemetry, and it's just plug and play. It just works. So anyway, there's that. The stack. Now, you guys know I'm not like a quad ninja, but I will point out that the stack arrangement is a little unusual, because they turned it. And because they turned it, one of the things I noticed right away are the wires are all exposed. So, you know, these side wires instead of being tucked in, but I guess if they turned it back the other way, these would be exposed. So I guess it doesn't matter, but it seems to me that seems a little odd. I don't know. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a drone ninja. I don't have a lot of, like, when it comes to airplanes, I have tons of frame of reference. So I can say that's good or that's not good. You know, I can say that. On quads, I'm not as good at that, but that doesn't seem right. that seems off a little bit to me to have those sitting out there like that. On the bright side, though, you do have access, and this is USB-C to this is for the Caddx system. So you have USB-C there, easy access, and then the bind button for that is right there. I did do the firmware upgrade, and I don't know if Martin showed up, but on the firmware upgrade, it activated instantly. The firmware upgrade, I had to do it twice, so it got hot, and the sucker does get hot. Even at 25 milliwatts, it gets hot. So I'll just prepare you guys for that. If you get one of these and you have to do that firmware upgrade, cool it, because it gets hot, or just do one thing at a time. And then on the other side, the other advantage, I guess, to switching the board around this way or laying it out this way, again, the wires are exposed, and I'm just, you know, I don't know, man. Anybody have experience with this? Has it been a problem? It seems off to me. You know, I just don't like that. It just seems sloppy. But anyway, there's the port, and that is the micro USB for the flight computer. So you plug in right there. So the good news is easy access to the port, very easy to get to. And the only thing I don't like are the wires kind of hanging out here. And then the Crossfire unit is right. I'm gonna flip it around. There it is. That's the Crossfire. Let's see. I wanted to get a pointer. There's the Crossfire unit, and there's the bind button. Now, I was prepared when I powered this on to do the auto bind with Crossfire, but it didn't work. It was red, so that tells me they powered it up at the shop first before they shipped it out, which is fine, but then you have to hit the bind button. So the bind button on this one is right there. It's right there. And the way I got to it, because I didn't want to take off the heat shrink, was I just took the flat edge, not the sharp edge of a here, it was number 11. I did it like this. I have the knife. I'll just show you. Rather than talk about it, I'll show you. So I put the knife in upside down, so sharp edge up, and I put it down like that. And when you do that, you can feel the detent without tearing up the shrink cover. So that worked. It worked. And I was able to get it to bind, no problem. So just be aware of that. In my case, it had already been powered up, so it wasn't going to initiate the auto bind. It was red. It was red. So anyway, there's that. Now, as far as the mounting for the GPS, you can see that BN220 is included on the back already and mounted. When you get it out of the box, this antenna is out of the mount, and it's zip tied down to one of these arms. So very tidy. And the quad came in shrink wrap, so the whole thing was shrink wrapped. But yeah, out of the box, no concerns at all. I still have to go around. I'll check all my bolts. I'll check the motor mounts. You know, make sure everything's tight. And I do recommend that, guys. And I was proven right on the Cinewhoop, by the way. On the Cinewhoop, when I went and did that check, I can tell you guys right now that there were at least 3 of these bolts on these motors that were loose. And I don't mean a turn or two, like they weren't quite snug. I mean, you know, turn loose, right? So you check that, you know, check that. And I will check it. I haven't done it yet on this one, but I will. So just make sure you check that. All right, before I move on, I'm going to take a pause and check the comments just to make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh my God, like shopping for a prom dress with John. Hey, Robert, man, you know, people got to see what the goods are, right? You got to see. Sounds like air units may be hard to find, may want to get used to Caddx. No, I can get the air units, and I think, you know, FL Engineer, I've seen them. I'm not going to tell where they are, but I've seen them. They're out there. You got to hunt. You got to hunt. Crossfire only. Yeah, Drone Pilot says Crossfire only for me now, and he's not. Man, I do like Crossfire. I have to give it to him. The Crossfire stuff, it just works. It's very, very good. I also set up the second serial port on Crossfire to be able to configure a flight computer using SpeedEV app, perfect for the field. I'll have to check that out. Have you bound your goggles this one yet and had any Pete buttons? Yeah, I did bind the goggles, not a single issue. After I did the firmware, I did the activation first, then I did the firmware upgrade. I had a little bit of an issue with the firmware upgrade, but you know, all I did was unpower everything, power it back on, and the second time it just went straight through. So no issues with the firmware, no issues binding after the firmware update, okay? So bind. Now, what I will say about the bind with these goggles, it does seem that the goggles need to be in bind mode first and then the air unit. So I've experienced that twice. The first time I did my air unit, and now this time, because I put this one in bind mode, then the goggles, that didn't work. So it seems to me, I'm not stating it as fact. I'm just saying that my experience so far has been, I've been able to get it to bind by putting the goggles in bind mode first and then putting the air unit in bind mode, or the VTX in bind mode. So don't crash. Not a problem if you crash. Well, they might catch. Yeah. Well, yeah. Hopefully no crashes, man. I try and avoid crashing. You know, I did all right on my maiden with my Cinewhoop. I didn't have any crashes, but I wasn't really. I did actually do a couple flips and rolls. I didn't put that in the maiden video, but I did do that. Maybe on the pilot jam tonight, I'll show you that one. Tailspin says my brother has this one and has not had issues with the wires yet. Yet has issues with the frame thickness. He had a minor crash and destroyed the frame camera motor, which is out of stock. Ugh. All right. Well, I'll try not to crash it. And it is thin. I mean, I'm not gonna. But you know, here's the thing, too, guys. That while this has some capability, and I've seen it, you know, watch the videos, it can flip around and do a little bit of freestyle. To me, this is more along the lines of like the Reptile Dragon. You know, the Reptile Dragon is a camera ship, and that's kind of how I view this, right? I know it's got some capability and it's virtually solid state. However, that's not my plan with this. My plan is for this to be an explorer, you know, just to go tool around and check things out. It's not to be doing crazy stuff. I'll play around with the Cinewhoop, and I also actually have a racing drone that I might get out and fool with that a little bit. But yeah, this one I just intend to be more like a camera ship. Not exactly like a DJI, but more like a camera ship. Anyway, yeah, I could see where it could break pretty easy. It's not real thick. I mean, it's just not real thick. All right, let's see. GEPRC were also the first to use a normal, tried and tested GPS. Yeah, I like these BN GPS. I haven't had issues with the BN GPSs yet. The only issue I've ever had with any of them was on a mini Talon maiden flight. No, it was a nano Talon maiden flight. I had the compass turned on, and iNav did not deal with the compass well. So the airplane was flying at 360, and the compass locked on between 260 and 290 or something like that, and would not change. And yes, it was calibrated. It worked in the office just fine, but man, it did not work at the field worth a flip. So other than that, yeah, I love these BN GPSs. They've been really good. And I have them on a lot of things now. I've got them on all the Zod stuff. The co-pilots are all BN GPSs. That's what I put in the Cinewhoop was a BN GPS. So yeah, I love them. All right. Pete says, I've been hanging to buy the goggles, but with all the binding, registering, and FPV mode issues, yeah, Pete, you know, if you got the money and you have the desire, I'd say go for it and just push through, because I'll tell you, you know, watch my Reptile Dragon video where I made the FPV goggles, the DJI goggles, and I'll tell you what, man, I'm smitten with them. I can tell you that. Don't let John say we found the air unit, they would be sold out. Yeah, I'm not giving that one up. I'm gonna keep that one. I'm keeping that one. It's a cruiser. Yeah, that's right, man. Tailspin, it's right. This is a cruiser. It's a cruiser. It's just a little, you know, it's a little zoom about, man. It's like a little Honda Accord or something, you know, with some mileage. And they say with the 4-cell 3000, it'll do 25 to 30 minutes. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Drone pilot, the GEPRC Baby is a tough little bugger. I've crashed it quite a bit. Not on concrete. Use it with 4S VTC6. Yeah, that's the one. Those are they're called Matura now, Matuza or something like that. But yeah, that's, I think, pretty sure that's what I ordered. And he gets great range. That's good. The beeper, dude, this beeper, and there is a button to switch it off. Did you mention? I'll tell you what, man. I don't know if you can see. You see that tape over that little beeper? I hate that thing. I was looking for the wire. There's a button right there. I have not figured. I'd like to just turn the thing off. It just kind of aggravates the crap out of me. I was working on this last night. People were sleeping. I'm trying to get in. I know I did figure out in beta flight you can do the USB beeper off, so I did do that. But this beeper drove me nuts. So all right, back to the quad. So you can tell this is a little bit of a sandwich design. So if you lose an arm, you don't have to strip the entire thing apart. You know, the arms come out right here, so that's convenient. Take the motor off, take the arm off, and you can replace it and put it back in, and you're back in business hopefully without stripping the entire quad down, of course, unless you do damage to one of the plates. But it's got the base plate and the bottom plate. Arm is sandwiched in there, so yeah, you can do that. Now, I'd like to just take a look around real quick and see. I'll let you guys look with me, but when I look this over, I didn't see any build issues at all. Like, everything looks tight, and of course, I'll put a wrench. You know, always put a wrench on and check it. But everything looks like it's tight and flush. Like, I don't see anything out of ordinary. You know, I'm looking at the build plate, the standoffs. I don't see anything out of ordinary or cockeyed or sandwiched in there wrong, offset. You know, I don't see any problems like that. The TPU prints look pretty good. I'd love to see their TPU printing facility to see how they do that, because they're getting really nice results with their TPU printing. It looks good, and it's like this mother of pearl red. It's like a translucent red. It looks pretty cool. I like it. The motor wires, it's like it's almost like it's not heat shrink, it's a tape. It's almost like a gaffer's tape or something like that, like a mic tape or something. That might be what it is. But yeah, just a tape. The motors look like they're fine, no issues there. On the back, there's a couple of openings for a FrSky antenna if you use those antenna straws, they're back there. And then, as I said, the XT30 on the back and the antenna, which you have to pop in there. There's a beeper on the bottom, and again, I've already mentioned that. I've got tape over mine because it really annoyed me. When I go fly it, maybe I'll take the tape off, but I'll tell you, in a house, ugh, annoying. And then the Immortal antenna, I love their motor mount or their antenna mount for this. Nice and clean, it's out of the way. It just comes right off the radio here on the bottom, and you know, it's tucked away nice and neat, and it's up front. I noticed that too. Instead of being in the back, it's up front. So if you think about the nature of flying, especially if you're flying away, right? You now have your battery in between on the top outside of your signal. So just keep that in mind. I think that's probably the right approach, because I'd rather have my signal get weaker on the way out, because if I determine it's time to come home, when I turn it back, I should instantly gain signal strength. That's my theory, and I think that's what they were after. Although the downside of that is now your video is going the other way. But anyway, there's that, and I think that's common with most of these things anyway. So yeah, build quality wise, I don't see anything on here like, you know, anything that's alarming. Everything looks tidy. Everything looks like it's well secured in there. You can see the Crossfire is zip tied down. The deck is screwed down, and there's shock mounting right there. I see the rubber mounts. So that looks good. I will tell you that the Caddx gets hot, so it wants to move. You got to get airflow moving over this thing. And the only other thing I'll take Robert's advice, and he always recommends zip tying your power leads to the frame. So I will do that, because if you dislodge the battery, you don't want the battery to pull on your flight board. So I think that's a really smart idea. So I will be doing that on this one. I'll be zip tying it somewhere in here to do strain relief for the main leads on the flight controller board. Okay, so that's the first look at the quad. If there's anything else you guys want to see, let me know. But I think the quad itself looks very good. Everything looks well put together. Dude, don't get me started on that beeper. Mine is almost impossible to get turned off. I have to short it out sometime. I'll tell you what, man, this beeper and I were not seeing eye to eye last night, because it wants to, and then the Betaflight configuration, it's almost like the programmers are screwing with you, because they turn on beeps for everything. Oh, you move the receiver aileron, let's beep. You know, you armed it, let's beep. You disarmed it, let's beep. It drove me nuts last night, man. But there is a command in Betaflight to turn it off. All right. How much is away? Vance. Oh, yeah. Yep. Vance got me. One of these days, I will get smart enough to put the scale within reach when I do these videos, so I don't have to go get it, but Vance got me. Thanks, Vance. Appreciate you. All right, there's the scale. Let's see what it does. It's zeroed out, and here we go. I don't have the 750 battery, so I can't tell you the answer on that. So 149 without the battery, and I'll tell you what, we'll set that aside for now, and we'll get the other stuff out, and we'll weigh it again, okay? Yeah, my dime, Robert says my dime bag scale. That's right, Robert. That's right. All right, so the rest of the box, now I'll tell you, yeah, I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, Vance, thank you. So the rest of the box, this is the way it comes. Nice foam padding on top, and the quad actually comes, I mentioned, in shrink wrap, and it's nice and tidy. It sits on these little foam braces, and this is on top, so it's plenty secure. I didn't have any, like, no concerns at all about the packing. It was fine. Very tiny box, man. That's what kills me about this stuff. Very small box. So I'll go through the hardware bag in just a second, and looks like there's a little hex key in here, a couple decals, and yeah, some silica and some instructions. So yeah, we'll get rid of that. Don't need that. All right, as far as the bag goes, see what we got. I know there's some spare parts in here. I know there's some battery straps and some rubber pads. There's a rubber pad for the battery. There it is. There's the non-stick pad for the battery. I was going over here for the camera for some reason. Anyway, yeah, there's the non-stick pad for the battery, so that'll just stick on there. I don't know, somewhere in here, maybe like that, maybe the other way. Nope, like that. There you go. That's where that goes. And then a couple spare screws. That's a nice touch. You know, when I got my CVTR, I was missing a screw on the bottom of the frame. They didn't give me any spares. Thankfully, I have a stash, so I was able to work it out. But I think that's cool when they send you some spares. That's good. Oh, those might be for the props. Yeah, those are probably the props. I'm sitting here babbling about spares, and those are prop screws. Antenna straws. So if you're using, a free sky antenna, here are the props. It looks like 4, 8. So you get the mains and one spare on the props. And then here are the arms. Here's a good look at the arms, so we can see what everyone's been talking about in terms of the arms. So and I think they're identical. Yeah, oh no, they're not identical. One's front, one's back. I don't know which one's which. I think the short one goes in the back, but yeah, they're not identical. So they give you a front and a rear, unfortunately. That would have been nice if they were all the same, but they're not. So yeah, don't crash too much. All right, so we got that. We got I don't know, a couple really long screws for something. I don't know what the heck those are for. They look for something like mounting the Caddx Vista or something like that. And then a couple battery straps. You've got the someone said the battery strap wasn't any good. I don't know. I mean, you got this one, which is, these are the typical, I actually buy generic Velcro brand of these things. They're normally wound up in a spool, but yeah, these are typical battery straps. I use these all the time. I mean, I have these on like I have them on all my batteries. I use them to keep the cabling straight on the batteries. And then here's one for the quad with the metal loops. I don't know what the problem with that is, but I mean, I don't know. It seems pretty durable to me. I don't know. I don't know where that's going to go. It's not leather. That's definitely plastic, but the strap feels okay. So there you go. There's the inside of the box. There are the arms. Let's go ahead and get some props out, and I want to throw those on the scale so you guys can see before Vance beats me to it on the weight. Vance, that's got to be your first comment from now on. John, get your scale. You guys got to hit me on Discord. Get your scale. All right, so here are the props. Again, no battery. I apologize for that, but I don't have the 750 battery. In fact, I'll get my 1550 out if you guys want to see that. But that's the game plan, is to fly it for now with the 1550s, because it'll fly at 3000. So that's why I'm going to do that. Okay, there it is with that and the props. So 159. Let me get a 1550 battery out, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, here's the 15. This is a Liperior 4-cell 1550. This is what I flew on the Cinewhoop yesterday. So I'll just drop that on there and we'll get a look. So 347 with the 1550. And obviously, I think with the lithium ion, I know it's going to be heavier than that. I know that 4-cell 3000 lithium ion is pretty heavy, so I know it'll be heavier than that. So there we go. Now we have an idea on the weights. Everybody wants to know about the weights. I think I'd remember. All right, that's it. That is the first look at the GEPRC Crocodile Baby 4-inch long range. I've already done the beta flight work, so this one pretty much just needs props and a test, but I got to get an adapter for the XT30 to work with my XT60. I think I have them, but I'll have to check my stash. If I don't, I will not be able to fly that one. I'll have to wait. So let's see. Let's see here. Haha, get the beep out of here. Yeah, that beep's got to go, man. You're going to need a quad bag like mine. You keep getting these quads. Yeah, so let's talk about that too. I want to cover that, the airframe. So I want to give you guys directionally what's going on here. Do you think you could fit a Caddx in the Civitar? Pete, the Civitar comes with mounts for an air unit. So I don't know about a Caddx, because the Caddx looks to me, and this is my first one, so I'm not 100%, but that Caddx looks a little tall. I'm not sure. But I do know for a fact that the Civitar, the CVTR has a TPU printed air unit mount, so it has that. Mine came with the Whoop style straps, Whoop type straps. Are these Whoop type straps? What is that? Is that a Whoop strap? I don't know what that is. So hopefully that's it. But it looks okay. I don't think that's going to be a problem. North RC, hello, how you doing? The whoop style straps that don't loop to help make sure there's a tight fit. They don't loop. Oh, so without the metal loop. So these, you can put these on without looping them. They'll just go straight around, and they're pretty tight too. I use those a lot actually. Big bat, little quad. Yeah, okay. Where are the likes, guys? Smash the like button. Yeah, hey, yeah, that's right. 18 viewers, 4 likes. You guys help a brother out, man. Hit the like button. 200 grams for the VT6 4S. Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, so 300. Where were we? 157 on this. So that's not that bad. It's not that bad. That's about the same as the 1550. So that should give me an idea. Yeah, 150. And you're saying Drone Pilot says 200 grams for the VT6. So this one is only 189. So yeah, perfect. I'll be able to fly that around and try it out. So that's cool. Because I know it can carry that VT6 setup. Just make an adapter. Yeah, I can make an adapter. That's not a problem. I just don't know if I have the parts for it. I don't have a lot of XT30. So I know, the adapter's no big deal. I just don't know if I have the parts. All right, so I don't see any other questions. Let's talk a little bit about the quad categories, because I've done the. So if you guys are watching, right? If you're following, you know that I did the DJI Mini, you know that I did the Cinewhoop, and now I've got the LR, right? I've got the LR quad. So the way I'm looking at this is that there's basically, I think there's about 5 main categories of quads out there at this point. The first one would be the big camera ship stuff, the Inspire. I'm not going to do that, mainly because they're, they can be as high as $10,000, $11,000, and I just can't. I can't justify that. That doesn't make sense for me, for the channel. It just doesn't make sense. So that's not, and it's not my bag, right? On the channel, the big media, cinematic camera guy channel. That's not who I am. So that one's kind of off the radar for me. The next step down is the kind of the consumer or prosumer line with the Mini. That's why I got the Mini. And so the camera ship line, I kind of bucket all that into one category. And for me, the representation I have in that category is the Mini 2. And that thing is fun. I've been having a good time with that. Then the next category would be like the Cinewhoop class, the one that's meant to fly up close. It's got the shrouds and the protectors, and it's meant to carry the GoPro on the top. And, that's this one. And then the long range, that's obviously a class. And then the next category I would categorize is like the freestyle / racer category. So I have, when I was deciding on this one, I was looking at the freestyle type quads. Now, the reason I went with this instead of the freestyle initially is because I can't fly them very well yet. If you watch the video, it was my first one, and I almost feel like a student pilot again. Like I can make the plane go around and, fly the pattern and stuff, but I don't have the precision that I have when I'm flying a fixed wing aircraft, right? So for that reason, I have more practice to do. And I thought, well, there's no real reason for me to get into, trying a freestyle quad. That'd be like giving a student pilot a 3D plane in my estimation, right? So that's why I decided to go ahead and go with the long range. And I figure if I can rack up some stick time with these two, that might prepare me to do, something on the freestyle side. So freestyle's coming, and I'm looking at the diatone stuff. And then, there are other alternatives in the Cinewhoop space, and I would like to be able to make some comparisons. So there's probably more to do there. I can tell you my initial, review of the Civitar was very positive. I'm hoping that this one turns out to be the same way. But there are alternatives to this as well. Plenty of them, lots of them. This is an exploding category, so lots of options out there. And again, I like to be able to make comparisons. I like to be able to say, hey, I have this one, here's what I like or don't like. So, and that's where I go with the planes. With the planes, I can do that. I can say, well, compared to other aircraft, here's what I like about this one, or why I like a T-tail instead of a V-tail. I can give you that because I've done it. So that's kind of where I'm going directionally, and I hope you guys enjoy that, but I'm not going to leave the fixed wing behind. That's not going to happen. I'll keep doing the fixed wing stuff. In fact, I'm absolutely loving the Dragon, and I still like my little Dart. I've got plenty of flying to do. So there's plenty more coming is my point. That's what I'm after. That's the thing I want to stress to you. But I wanted to get into quads because I can't. It's just like you can't ignore it. I can't ignore it. It's not going to go away. And they're fun. There's some neat technology getting crammed into these things with beta flight and the HD cameras and the 30-minute flight times. I mean, what's not, that's suddenly, and it has GPS rescue that works. So, that's starting to become compelling, like you can do things with these you can't do with fixed wing, like take off from a confined space or stop if you have a problem, you know, and come back. So a little bit of a different flight experience. Okay, let's see. Never mind, those straps will be welcome on mine. The ones I have can't feed through the hole and then pulled back. Okay, yeah. Adriano Casemiro, if you don't care for the 250 gram and small 650 milliamp, get rid of that XT30 on the quad and prefer. Yeah, I might do that too. Yeah, it doesn't look like that'd be too hard to do. Yeah, that actually wouldn't be a terrible idea. And weight is not my primary concern with this. That'd be a pretty easy fix, actually. Just chop it off and connect an XT60. That'd be an easy fix. Not a bad idea. I might do that. I have one freestyle quad for each size, but the majority are long range quads because I enjoy them that way. Yeah, drone pilot, I can see it, man. You know, this is one I can see. You could take this just about anywhere. It's so small, and just pop it up and go for a quick little flight in 30 minutes. I mean, geez, you know, that's a long time to fly. So yeah, I get it. And you know, for me, again, freestyle is not a thing yet. You know, like I said, it'd be like giving a student fixed wing pilot a 3D plane, say, here, try this out. Like not a good scene, right? It's not going to end well. I mean, I guess I could fly it, but it's not like I'm going to be able to be, you know, fluid with it. You know, it'd look pretty terrible. Just like my maiden video, I look like a student pilot with the maiden video. So, all right. Would you be using quads more for your video footage? North 49, my intention is to add quads to the video footage. So, you know, the challenge I have right now is getting someone else to fly for me. So if I take an aircraft out and like a fixed wing and fly it, the challenge I have is I need a pilot for that. And where I'm flying right now, I just can't seem to get consistency there. So I can do, you know, the cinematic stuff I've dabbled in that a little bit, but you guys aren't responding to that. So I don't know if that I'll be doing like the cinematic, you know, going to the beach and taking video at the beach. It doesn't seem like my channel gets reactions on that type of material very much. I mean, a little bit, you know, the river crossing video was okay. The swamp video tanked, the baseball video tanked. So yeah, I don't know. What I'd like to do ideally is integrate some quad footage with the fixed wing stuff and use them both. But you know, I'll dabble with it, and that's the game plan. But yeah, I don't see the quad footage supplanting the fixed wing stuff, if that's the question. Wouldn't mind one of these in analog. Yeah, they have them, Barry. They do have them in analog. So yeah, you can get them. They've got them. I didn't link the analog version, but I could do that. But yeah, just head over to Banggood. In fact, if you use my Banggood link, you can select the video option you want. So if you use the Banggood link I put in the description, you can choose that. All right. So Kevin says, at least plenty of flying to do while we still can legally, because I believe will be eventually made illegal. Kevin, I don't think you're too wrong, man. I really don't. I think you know, I've had people gunning for me in the past. It kind of feels like they're gunning for us, doesn't it? So yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, fly a lot. All right. Drone Pilot says, I have a new build 10-inch quad long range. Will be running 18x VTC batteries, tested weightlifting capabilities. You can lift those. And yeah, that's cool. The big stuff. Yeah, Robert's got some big quads too. I've been interested in these because of portability. And you know, I think what got me started on this was the little Dart 250. You know, when I realized just how much technology and how capable that little Dart 250 is with the right flight stabilizer. The small stuff didn't bother me anywhere near as much as it used to. I used to think like Robert, you know, 60 inches, 50 inches, got to be big. And, you know, my last long range plane was a Twin Dream, my Twin Dream. That thing would haul 60,000 milliamp hours in the belly. And I thought that was the only way you could do it. But man, I'm starting to see they're really kind of crunching down and making these things small and portable, and they're giving them some legs. So that's what's been so interesting to me about this form factor. And they're quieter, you know, they're not lifting as much, so they're going to be quieter for sure. All right, let's see. You have flown one. I have yet to do that. Yeah. No, actually on the maiden for the Cinewhoop, in case you're curious, I counted my discrete video files out of my FPV DVR recorder, and I had 9 discrete flights. So it was a good day. I went through a lot of battery yesterday. It was good. All right. Arnie says 230 grams with a 650, just below 250 with the 750. Yeah, that's exactly what I saw. Just under 250 with a 750 milliamps. So that may be something to try, you know, if I'm interested in the weight thing. But I got to be honest with you with this thing. I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to stick that thing on there and use these batteries up and go fly. I mean, I feel bad. This thing, it's like a pack mule, right? Like you get this great, it's all battery. I mean, it's all battery. Look at that. It's almost ridiculous looking from the side. How big that battery is compared to the quad itself, you know? Kind of crazy. Anyway, if you want video footage, use a DJI quad. Yeah, I agree. Not an FPV, so a Mini or Mavic. Now, the one thing about that drone pilot is that the camera ships don't do very well chasing planes, and that's kind of where I went with this. You know, I did this because I want to be able to chase some planes around. Now I know it's not going to be cinematic, but that's not what I'm after. I just wanted to be able to get some flights of a airplane maiden with this thing, because this is fast enough to keep up with them. I did some speed testing yesterday, and it hit 59 miles an hour at peak, which is plenty fast enough to keep up with a fixed wing plane at the field. So that's kind of where I am with that one. I'm not looking for the cinematography. I'm just looking for, you know, getting at the field and being able to chase some planes around and getting some video of the airplanes. And I think that'll be more than competent to do that. And I can also do that with other airplanes, but I think the quads are easier because if you lose track, you can park it and, you know, turn around and look and spot and then go. So anyway, not FPV, so many, yep. Those little quads can lift full GoPros. 59. All right. Well, hey, that looks to be the end of the chat. It's certainly the end of the content for the GEPRC Croc Baby. So we will be on the lookout. You know, the next time I get a chance, I will get some props on here. I've already got the Betaflight configuration done. The radio configuration, obviously, that's real simple. You just copy. So I will be getting some material out on this one as soon as I can. And the cool thing is I'll be able to do the FPV goggles with this one. So I'll put the goggles on and we'll do the DVR footage from the goggles and have a little fun and check it out and see what it can do. And then the batteries are ordered and on the way. They're on the way. So if you guys are interested in seeing how to put together a 4S pack with a spot welder and shrink wrap, let me know. And I'll look at putting a video together for that. If you don't care, then I'll just put the batteries together and do it myself. Either way is fine by me. And I'll definitely be getting that together so I can take this out and just go cruise and get some flight time. So that's it. Long range, no, not Vance, not with these, man. I'm not there, dude. I'm not even close to there with this one. Not even close, man. Nope. Vance wants me to do long range cross the bridge. No. Yeah, I see how you are, man. I'll tell you what. You send me one, and I'll do it. Send me one, I'll do it. Looking forward to the flight footage. Show them how. Yeah, I'll do my best. Show them how to do the batteries. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks for joining me. I appreciate your attention today, and I hope you got the information you wanted on this little quad. And look forward to the upcoming footage. It'll be out there. It won't be long. You know, just need to get the battery going and get it put together and go do it. So I'll be getting video on this one as soon as I can. All right, I'll see you guys. Hey, Friday, Robert, don't forget about Friday. I got the pilot jam tonight. There's more. There's probably another video between now and then too, weirdly enough. So stand by, keep an eye on the channel. A lot going on. All right, I appreciate you guys joining me today. Thanks for the questions. Great session. I enjoyed your company. Thank you very much. Have a great day.